Here we go then in Imola to 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. A good start from Norris at the front. West getting away slowly, Verstappen in behind. And they all go towards turn 1 and rushing through they go. It's a good start, but from the McLaren. West trying to maybe have a look to the inside. Verstappen sweeping to the outside and getting the move done. Up to second he goes. And a brilliant getaway for Max Verstappen. They're side by side, the top two in the championship, going in through, and well, it might just be good for the Ferrari to hold out. He does, and well, it's good. Tsunoda in behind in 4th, Piastri in 5th, and then you've got in behind the Aston Martin, the Mercedes, then the Haas, and it's all very good for Lando Norris. He's streaking away and ahead as we come through. West wide in the corner, and Verstappen surely going to prey on this as we come up, down, and then back up the hill again. But an excellent start for Lando Norris. It's been, what a brilliant getaway he has had. And well, West and Verstappen, the top two in the championship. After the first few rounds, it's been absolutely perfect. And well, Ferrari at the first home race of the season, up against the big boys again. McLaren with their first pole. Lando Norris already streaking ahead, and look at Oscar Piastri as we come down towards turn 1. Oscar Piastri towards the inside we go. Yuki Tsunoda trying to hold the outside, does the exact same as Verstappen on the previous lap and tried to push him wide. Alonso's also in the mix too, but Piastri just about holds out. A bit of bodywork going flying as well in the background too. And now, as we come through the Variante Villeneuve and up towards Tosa, Piastri holding it quite nicely now against Alonso, but he has lost that position to Yuki Tsunoda. What a good day for our number 81. But now Verstappen still right on the back of West, looking through Acqua Minerale and up towards the Variante Alta now. Last on the brakes, West really does get a good line. West through there, a bit too much curb. Well, he could be sent off flying. He knows how to do those sausage curbs quite nicely. And well, Verstappen looking towards the last corner, Rivazza. And well, West going a little bit wide. Norris and 6/10 the gap now to West, and they'll have DRS going down the back straight now. Max Verstappen though, we're going to ride on board. Right on the back of West, pulling towards the inside, right towards the pit wall, had to force West wide and through, but it wasn't quite to be for West there. And well, Verstappen easing up now onto the back of Lando Norris. And now as we come all the way to the Variante Villeneuve again, and look at this, what a shot that is. Hope we get a bit more of that throughout this race today. But Norris, Verstappen and West, all on the mediums. McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull. Speaking of the other Ferrari, Lewis Hamilton down up in 7th for the minute. Made his way up from starting 11th, but Verstappen easing now a bit closer onto the back of Lando Norris. Well, this is where it's going to get spicy. West now hooking onto the back as we come at Acqua Minerale again. And towards the Variante Alta, this really quick chicane. And look at this from Lando Norris. He's really holding up the front three now behind. And now Lando Norris. Down the hill we go towards Rivazza. And well, Norris will have to do the defence of his life. West is on the back now too as well, Verstappen. And well, Norris a bit of a slide on the exit. But now it's going to be all too easy for Max Verstappen to pull to the outside and get the move done. Max Verstappen leads here at Imola. And Lando Norris falls behind. Hamilton up a position. Tsunoda up in position 2. Russell up there too on Ocon. And well, Lando Norris has not had the start of his dreams the first 4 laps. He got away initially but was caught at McLaren. It's not really the fastest track for that McLaren car. Red Bull with their aerodynamical ability and progressing up through the field. Looking now as we come towards the Piratella. A long, quick left-hander. Send it down into 5th gear. And you're through. Now Acqua Minerale, and look at West on the back of Lando Norris. And what a shot this is, the helicopter. And well, West now closing right up and looking to the inside. I think he got the move done. He did sneak quite through. And well, Norris taken by surprise, and I think taken aback by it too. But now, West and Verstappen, the top two in the championship, lead the Grand Prix. And well, West is really throwing that car. Is it going to be a medium two-stop today for West, do you think? Or is he going to burn out? He's been quite aggressive on those tyres. But now, Max Verstappen, well, we'll get the right camera shot. Oh well, West almost trying it, but not quite close enough going in towards turn 1 at Tamburello. And well, down again, turn 5 and 6, you swing the car in and swing it back out again. And I'll tell you what, I want this camera shot all day long as you come up through Tosa. And Verstappen getting the power down. You can see he gets the power down. He gets a nice little extension of his advantage as you go up through the hill. Through Piratella now and over towards the Acqua Minerale. This downhill section, you flick it the car in. And then up through the hill, and you try and take as much as you can on the exit without getting in trouble with the stewards. But Max Verstappen, West getting a brilliant close up. He can really throw the car in. And look at Verstappen looking in the mirror maybe and seeing it behind. And here comes Max Verstappen. He's going to be under pressure again from West. We come over the finish line now. West with the DRS open. You can see him in the background. He's going to keep gaining. I don't think this might be enough as we come towards turn 1, but almost there. And you might say that West is really trying to make this happen. And well, Yuki Tsunoda has got past both McLarens now. And well, Tsunoda, that's not a good day for the McLarens at all. Well, you can see Hamilton and Russell in the background as well, battling once again. The two former Mercedes teammates. Well, Tsunoda, that gap has increased now. I think West made a mistake somewhere at the front too. We'll stay with this group of 3. There you have it. He can just carry so much speed. You can see West carrying so much more speed through that in the very anti-alta. That Ferrari is responding well to him. Yuki Tsunoda now on the medium rubber, so the McLaren's behind. So it's all looking like a similar strategy for the top 5, but it depends when you want to throw on and boot something on a bit more durable. It probably will be the hard tyre that does get thrown on Yuki Tsunoda's Red Bull. But here we go, Norris closing up on the back of Yuki Tsunoda, pulls to the right hand side and will get the move done. It's a good move there from the Brit. And the McLaren once again moves back up to third position on the racetrack. Russell also passed Hamilton in the background as well. But the McLarens have formed a bit of a Red Bull sandwich now, with Yuki Tsunoda stuck in the middle. Well, Lewis Hamilton in the background too, you can see him just about there. Well, West and Verstappen now 8 tenths the. You can see West is really throwing that car about. Isn't it quite to be? And you can see in the background it's getting a lot more interesting between the battle for third position. Nice, you can see him looking in his mirrors again. And well, West has got a lot closer to the back of Max Verstappen now. And now Verstappen will be under pressure and under threat from the Scuderia Ferrari. Here at a home race for the team. West getting closer and closer and closer and closer. Almost there. West down the inside. Loses a bit of grip and slides on the way in, but gets the move done. West up to first. And well, I don't know if Verstappen's going to try and fight this back. As we come towards Tosa now. This could be, I wouldn't say it's Verstappen's big day, but Well, the championship lead was closed up in Miami after West's victory. And well, Verstappen pulls to the left-hand side, coming up towards Pirotella now, and West holds the outside, goes a little bit wide. Verstappen has to... Well, and there is a yellow flag, and I think it's Isaac Hadjar who's pulled off to the right. The Red Bull Powertrains unit not quite working out for them, and well, West is sliding that car. How he's doing that, he must be taking so much life out of his tyres in the process. But now as we come down towards the final corner, West defends the inside and tries to take it. West goes deep, and Verstappen has to takes the place off him. First place now for Verstappen, but it might, I think he might have had DRS just nicked off him ever so slightly. Yes, he will. West is in trouble now, and he's going to try and hold out. Verstappen, all the clear air in the world to try and increase the gap. That did not go well for West at all. Well, you can see down the field, Russell past Hamilton at the same time, and well, this McLaren sandwich hasn't really moved, you might say, but we're going to see West and Verstappen now climbing up through. Yeah, West has shredded those tyres. You can see he's so badly struggling for grip. And well, is that... Oh, Verstappen with a problem! Verstappen with a problem! West's going to go through! And the championship leader is slowing! He's very, very slow! And that is surely going to mean he's hit Hamilton too. That's not going to help his race. But Max Verstappen out of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And well, will this be a safety car? I don't think it will be. But it's allowed Russell to close right up on the back. And Hamilton, with his wing damage, he hit Verstappen on the back and he didn't really help himself. Now might be a perfect time for that two-stop, Lewis, that they've been so desperately after, potentially. And well, does Lewis pit? He does pit. So Lewis Hamilton first to the boxes. We will see what tyres go on the Scarlet Ferrari. It's going to be hard. So is that to the end, or is that for... Well, he will have a bit of a change, and he'll have to hold in the box and right out behind Carlos Sainz in the Williams. He will be behind Esteban Ocon too. But now the battle for first begins to rage. Tsunoda up past Piastri, and Norris is down to fourth. You can see Max Verstappen just off to the side. Well, that is 25 points thrown away in the championship battle. I believe it does also mean that I think West will take the championship lead today. Might be wrong in that case, but and yes, he will. The gap between Verstappen and West at the beginning of this race was 10 points. Max is 116 to West 106. And now West boxes 2. Does anybody else from that group box? No, they don't. So now West is going to box, and I think it's going to be for the mediums. So, and now Piastri all the way through and up into the lead. The two McLarens then, one stopping, it seems, on these mediums. So a very, very interesting mix of strategies for the Ferraris at their home race. Of course, Imola not too far away from Bologna, and Maranello. And Yuki Tsunoda closing right up on the back of Oscar Piastri, not quite close enough this time. And you come up for the Pirotella and down towards the Variante Acqua Minerale. Upwards now towards the Variante Alta, up the hill, and you see the crest, and you flick left, flick to the right, sorry, then flick to the left. And Oscar Piastri, will it be a box for either one of these drivers? But West Ham Hamilton, West Ham in 13th, so that's not really kind of worked out for West in that sense, but the top 4 here are all vying for the win and all vying for the podium place. Here comes Yuki Tsunoda to the left-hand side, and the Red Bull, the winner of the Japanese Grand Prix, takes the lead of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. What a brilliant overtake that is from Yuki Tsunoda. Well, it's keeping the action up front. All very, very interesting. We'll have to see. The 2 Ferraris, 13th, 14th. And well, it's back to Sonny Hayes in 5th in the APX GP. What a race he's having. Of course, he picked up his first points in the Miami Sprint, Sonny Hayes, at home. Let's take a look at the back as you go out the Acqua Minerale. Yuki Tsunoda will now be under pressure from Oscar Piastri as we come down towards the final corner of the regatta. Sharp left, another sharp left, and Piastri is going to be right on the back of Yuki Tsunoda now, coming towards and across the line. Tsunoda under a lot of pressure, and now Oscar Piastri retakes the lead. A brilliant, brilliant move from him again. Still winless, but second in Miami. And Lando Norris exactly the same, so this could be a first McLaren win on the cards today if they keep it together. Well, here we go. It's Yuki Tsunoda under pressure from Lando Norris again, and Piastri's trying to get a bit more of a gap now, and Red Bull a bit cautious after the whole Verstappen retirement earlier on in the race. Well, Hadjar as well out, so 2 Red Bull affiliated cars out of the Grand Prix, the track where they really need it as well. Well, here's one driver we also haven't spoken about today, Kimi Antonelli. It's his home race as well in Italy, or one of 2 for him. Of course, we'll go to Monza a bit later on in the season, but he's currently chasing the APX GP of Sonny Hayes. Well, Norris looking maybe on Yuki Tsunoda. He's getting closer and closer and closer, maybe trying to dive down the inside. Not quite there. Not quite close enough this time from Lando Norris. Of course, Tsunoda has. Piastri needs to really break away. I don't see how he's going to do it. West now up to 7th. And that's actually working. Hamilton's still in 14th, so where West is finding the time in the car, doesn't appear Hamilton is. Here we go then. Through the Acqua Minerale, now Lando Norris is getting ever closer to the back of Yuki Tsunoda, and he needs a really good exit here. Looks a bit better this time. Tsunoda's got a good 1-2. Will it be 1 second at the timing line? It will. Lando Norris then has got a good chance to potentially pass Yuki Tsunoda here. We'll look through the final corner on the back of Yuki Tsunoda again, and George Russell boxes, so that's nice and easy for him. For Yuki Tsunoda, and I think Oscar Piastri is also in the box as well. So here we go towards the outside. Lando Norris for the lead of the race, and he does get it done. But West also up to 3rd as well, so you can't see Piastri in the background, but he's just coming out of the pits, so he's got some time to catch. Of course, he loses about 30 seconds being in the pits here. And there's Lewis Hamilton coming out of the pits and ahead of Oscar Piastri. And now he's on the hard tyres, so we'll go straight to the end from here. So, got to put his foot in and just get going. But now you can start to see the tyres deltas. start to change and shift ever so slightly. Oscar Piastri stuck behind Liam Lawson. Hamilton progressing up through the field. We can see Jack Doohan up in P7. We haven't seen him that high since China. 11th in the championship, 14 points at the minute. He did so well in China to get 12 points out of the race. Joshua Pearce also now up into 5th. Antonelli in 4th as well. There have been rumours floating around the paddock that Charles Leclerc may be coming back, and well, a lot of drivers now entering the pit lane. Antonelli going on to the hards. Tsunoda coming out of pit lane on the hard tyres too. But Lando Norris has stayed out on these mediums. And well, only time will tell if this is going to be a good decision from the McLaren pit wall. Tsunoda comes out in 9th, and it will mean the two Ferraris of West and Hamilton will come out ahead, and it'll be a Ferrari 1-2, which will of course please the Tifosi for about maybe 20 minutes, and then it will be down to business between the two Ferrari drivers. Lando Norris coming over the crest, and it will be surely his turn to box this lap. Coming across and out the last corner, and it will be Lando Norris entering the pit lane. And here we go. It will be the mediums for Lando Norris in the slow stop. Not quite. Quite a quick one. West will now retake the lead. Hamilton coming out the last corner, and maybe this could play into the hands of Oscar Piastri ever so slightly. Lando Norris out of the last corner then. And well, Piastri does get ahead. Albon coming through too. And now that is George Russell, and he's going to be split right in the middle and sent to traffic. Norris, that's not a good stop at all. And maybe staying out that little lap longer has really cost Lando Norris there. But he's ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. That's the main thing as well, is Tsunoda's also in this traffic of Ocon and Behrman. And well, this is unforgiving. It's a difficult track when it's such a long pit straight. We'll look forward over towards Oscar Piastri now, and actually Albon and Russell are quite close. And Albon, I think, has stayed out even longer than was expected. And these tyres, 17 laps on medium tyres is a long way to go, but you'll have a better tyre delta. You can push more in the last couple of sections. He still doesn't box. Alex Albon still doesn't box, but George Russell pulls towards the right hand side, and it will be a P4 for George Russell on those hard tyres. An excellent move, but now Lewis Hamilton will come under pressure from Oscar Piastri. The man still hunting for a first race win. Denied in Miami by West, denied in China, denied in Japan by West as well. And there's surely no way that he can be denied here today. He's got the strategy oh so right so far. Look at the gap coming down. West and Hamilton will need to make another stop. But Oscar Piastri up through the Acqua Minerale now, up to the Variante Alta again. And Piastri with 14 laps to go is now right on the back of Lewis Hamilton. Right on board, going down towards the Devazza. Well, Lewis Hamilton will now come under right a lot of pressure. 3/10 behind. Put all the power down you can do. And Lewis Hamilton is going to be passed straight away by Oscar Piastri down the straight. And now Piastri can go and set his sights on the net lead. and trying to build a gap with those hard tyres, where Lewis Hamilton has been passed and is down to P3. Just almost perfect for Oscar Piastri to be there, but he has been after a win all season long, and today will probably finally be the day that Oscar Piastri gets his first win on the Formula One circus in 2025. Here we go then, towards the Variante Alta again. Flicked in and flicked to the left again. And Lewis Hamilton now has dropped out of DRS range. He's going to be running his own race from now on. Nice and easy then for Lewis. Gap to the leader now, 10 seconds between Piastri and West is somewhere on screen. There he is. The number 21 is asked about swapping with Yuki Tsunoda for his number. He got denied by the Red Bull team and the FIA too. That gap now under 10 seconds. And we will see how far this gets. Russell now, and not Lando Norris, has made a bit of ground up to move ahead of Tsunoda, Hayes, Behrman and Ocon. But now Lando Norris on the back of George Russell. 3 Brits then, or 4 Brits even, in the top 5. Hamilton, Russell, Norris and West. Nice little stat. And well, you can see now with this camera angle from George Russell how fast this Variante Alta the Acqua Minerale section is. It's literally a flick to the right and you're trying to hold on now through the Variante Alta. This time, now we go. And George Russell will be under pressure from Lando Norris going into the final corner. Coming close and up towards the Ragazza. And well, George Russell is almost there again. Here's Lando Norris. DRS open, pulls to the left-hand side. Norris straight through into 4th, from 4th to 3rd. And well, Lewis Hamilton, I think, is stopping again. He is. Hard tyres again for Lewis. A nice second set of mediums. Where will that bring him out? I think it's going to bring him out maybe 15th, 14th, 15th. That's not good for Lewis. And well, Ferrari do lead the Constructors' Championship, 186 to 180 over Red Bull, but I think that might change today. And that gap will get even bigger. But Hamilton down to 17th, and we'll hope that some of the other drivers will make another stop. Highly likely they will. But West is almost rally driving through. You can see all the stones and the marks. And here we go, West into the box. Piastri, Norris, Russell, Tsunoda, all probably going to pass. Where will West end up then? As he comes out the pits. Here we go then. And a good stop from the Ferrari crews. Piastri and Norris take the lead then. Russell into 3rd. Yuki Tsunoda still following, and is it time then for West to try and hunt down the top 3? Well, Pierre Gasly's next in his sights. Russell now 5-6 tenths behind Norris and really closing on that pack of the front 3. The front 2, sorry, those 2 McLarens. And the McLaren 1-2 is something we've not seen so far this season. West down the inside on Pierre Gasly. And pushing him as far wide as he can. West gets the move done. And there will be an end plate there as well, coming off Pierre Gasly's car. I don't think he'll be too pleased about that. West going wide. And he was all over the place there. And he's now on a mad rush to try and catch think it's nearly 20 seconds in 10 laps, so it's 2 seconds a lap quicker than Piastri and Norris up the front. But here's Lando Norris and George Russell still going at it and trying to close on the lead and close on the gap that Oscar Piastri has created. And well, here we go. You see Antonelli and West battling the home hero versus the home team hero. West looking towards the inside on Kimi Antonelli, and he does get the move done very, very nicely. And now Sonny Hayes will be in his sights in 5th. You can see over the crest, it's a lovely camera shot, isn't it? And West, dipping into the gravel as well for good measure. He's throwing that car around, isn't he? All day long today. Well, Sonny Hayes up ahead, and he's in 5th, having a very good race, you might say, so far. Of course, he's not in the fastest car that Formula 1 has ever given him, but he's certainly making the most of this season, this one-off season that he said he'd come back for, to please Ruben Cervantes. The team boss being the 22nd team on the grid is an absolute pleasure. And well, Yuki Tsunoda enjoying a Sunday run out on the in Emilia-Romagna. It's been a mixed season, you might say, for Yuki Tsunoda. He's struggling with that second Red Bull car, but he's doing better than his predecessors for sure, especially with that win in Japan at his home Grand Prix in Suzuka. Some arguing that he was almost like it was gifted to him with that Piastri and West collision on that last lap, pushing them both wide off the track. And while it was a messy race in the wars, but everyone's so split between the two, and West and Hayes, and West dives down the inside on the American, and he does get the move done. And delightful pass, and now West will have DRS all the way down the straight, and a move, clever move, well done. But Lewis Hamilton down further down, and he's not at the best of races. A front wing change due to that Verstappen collision when he was retiring, and well, who knows where Lewis Hamilton will be next year. Will it be at the top of the field, or will it be quite far down? This new 2026 regulations are throwing everything up into the air at the moment. No one really knows what's going to happen with the 7-time world champion. Will he get a shot at an 8th against Charles Leclerc in the fastest car next season, or will it be a case of we're fighting in the midfield? Well, regulation changes never been great for Ferrari in recent times. 2014, most notably, 2009 as well. 2017 they did get it right, but they were triumphed by the former Mercedes team, and the man you're seeing on screen now, Lewis Hamilton. He's coming right on the back of Lance Stroll, and I think it will be a DRS pass in the making here for Lewis Hamilton. He's right on the back of, right on board as we go across the straight. Look at it to the left hand side, and Lewis Hamilton up into the points once again today. And well, it's a perfect day for Lewis Hamilton. A 2-stop, which is sort of working. The Ferrari know he can make the moves that everyone knows he can do back in his early racing career. Those times in McLaren. And now Pierre Gasly in the sights. Pierce maybe to Antonelli up ahead, and well, we'll see on right on board Kimi Antonelli how much to take. Really swings that car in, doesn't he? It's absolutely brilliant to watch that camera angle going through there. Well, West and Yuki Tsunoda up ahead, and well, West and Tsunoda. And you can see West is trying every single trick in the book to try and keep in tow with Yuki Tsunoda. Of course, a podium would be good for West today. He's 8 seconds away from it as it stands. And he's got 5 laps to go, so he's really eating into the time that I don't think it will be a win for West today. Looking like it's more going to be a McLaren job, but West is really throwing it. I think Tifosi are loving it as well. He's throwing that car around. But now here's Yuki Tsunoda coming up towards the Piratella and down towards Acqua Minerale now. West is right on the back of Yuki Tsunoda. Down the inside he goes, and I think he cut the corner at the same time. Will he give it back? I don't think he will. I think Tsunoda almost squeezed him, and that was where West got a bit offended by it and had to take a avoiding action. But Tsunoda down to 5th, West up to 4th, and West is in a lot of gravel. He's really throwing that car about. And well, the stewards will probably surely get involved in a bit with track limits, but we shall see. Speaking of which, the front two, McLaren, and then Mercedes, the top 3 at the moment. And Oscar Piastri is having the time of his life out there. No pressure. His teammate is holding firm. Papaya rules in play in effect. And this will be one for McLaren's first win of the season to make them very, very happy. Well, at least their first Grand Prix win of the season, of course. And Norris won that sprint race in Miami. Piastri on the podium there as well. This will be the first Grand Prix win of the season for McLaren, their first since Abu Dhabi 2024. The day when we saw them crowned Constructors' World Champions for the first time since 1999. It was either 98 or 99, I cannot remember. It was one of the years Hakkinen won the World Championship. I would have done in 2007 if it wasn't for the Spygate drama. I'll tell you what, that'd be an incredible documentary to make and cover here on Westie TV about Spygate. It's been a better day for Mercedes, you might say, for George Russell and Kimi Antonelli, 5th, 3rd and 6th. They've not really had the best start to the season with the W16, but they seem to be enjoying every moment of it. George Russell 7th in the championship and Antonelli 8th. 86 points in the World Championship scored by them both. And of course, at this point of the season, every point counts. They're 4th in the Constructors too, a widely position they were tipped for. Now George Russell will be under pressure from West as we come over the line. 3 laps to go, and 3 laps to hold on for George Russell for a podium, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Ferrari looking to the inside, and he does get the move done. West sneaks through, and he's back up in the podium positions again. And the 2 stops worked for him. It might not have worked for Lewis Hamilton. who goes up to 8th and sails into 8th past Joshua Pearce. With the 2 Apex GP cars, they can hold their heads up high today. What a result this will be for them if they hold on. And if Hamilton passes Sonny Hayes, 8th and 9th will be a very, very good result for the American team. And one that will make Ruben Cervantes extremely pleased. Looking forward now, Norris is slowly closing that gap to Oscar Piastri. He's brought it down under 2 seconds in the past lap or so. Not quite yet in DRS range though. This is quite crucial for the championship. This, of course, the 2 McLarens could still join the championship fight. They're not overly far off even if they win with the results they'll get today. Of course, we go out to Monaco next time out, which means qualifying is going to be important, and McLaren are a very good qualifying car. You can see now Hayes on the back and under pressure from Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion, passes the veteran, and that is a perfect move on Sonny Hayes. And well, they're down to 8th and 9th now. Lewis Hamilton up to 7th and now chasing down his replacement of Mercedes, Kimi Antonelli, who is 1.6 seconds ahead, and now also the gap up front, 1.6 seconds between the 2 McLarens. Is Piastri starting to feel the pressure just a little bit? We can see on board Piastri. That's the gap currently. If you want to take that on for the last lap. A qualifying lap from Lando to potentially see if you can win this race. But onto the final lap we go now. We're going to stick with our front 2 for the time being. It was a race of strategy for Oscar Piastri today. He's done all he needed to do. Norris went out a couple of laps later than Oscar. A strategy that McLaren might have thrown them back into the mix. Or might have thrown Norris into the mix for the battle for this race. He started on pole, Norris, but it wasn't quite to be. 1.3 now behind the gap, and well, if he gets into DRS range, he's got to do it. He's a bit late for it, unfortunately, today. But Oscar Piastri has been an absolute brilliant drive. Lewis Hamilton further down the grid, currently 4 tenths behind Antonelli, and I think he might get that move done. But Oscar Piastri will be coming across the line momentarily. One last time for the Variante Alta. Norris trying to get it under a second, but Papaya rules. And Papaya rules the world too here today. Oscar Piastri through Rivazza one last time. And he will take the victory here in Imola. The Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix is Oscar Piastri's. Norris in second and coming home. West comes home in third for Ferrari. A brilliant result on home soil. Russell in fourth, Tsunoda in fifth, and Hamilton is really trying now to maybe have a look. But what a result for Oscar Piastri. Antonelli will take 6th place. And what a day for McLaren, and what a day for Papaya too. A brilliant result for the Woking Base team. A perfect result then for Oscar Piastri in the McLaren. What a day for the McLaren team as they take the top 2 spots for the first time this season. Piastri's first win, McLaren's first win, Norris in second, West in first, who becomes the new championship leader for the first time in over 3 years. Oscar Piastri then on top with 25 points, Tsunoda in 5th with Red Bull picking up some points with Max Verstappen's retirement. Antonelli ended up in 7th after a 10-second post-race penalty, with 2 Apex GP cars in the top 10 for the first time ever. What a brilliant day for them. And well, as we look to the championship standings then, West takes Verstappen by 5 points, a new championship leader for the first time ever. Piastri up to 3rd, and well, the 2 Mercedes in the top 10 too. But it all could change when we next go to the Monaco Grand Prix, next time out here on Westie TV.